Good morning. Thank you for attending. My name is Detective Murray Barnes from the Toronto Police Homicide Squad. Today I'd like to update you with video footage obtained from the ongoing investigation into the murder of Marcus Gibson. On Sunday, 27th November 2016, about 3:56 p.m, Marcus Gibson was shot dead in his second-floor bedroom on Munro Street in Toronto. After an extensive video search, which is still in progress, we have found footage of a person we believe to be the suspect in this murder. I'm going to play you two video clips. The first will show the person in dark-coloured clothing and dressed to avoid identification, walking south on Munro Street. This location is north of Mr. Gibson's residence and in total about a minute or two walking distance away. The footage shown shows a timestamp of 3:20 p.m. The second clip shows the same person running north on Munro Street away from the crime scene. The timestamp on this shows 3:56 p.m. We believe this person may have gotten into a vehicle that travelled north on Munro towards Gerrard Street. I'd like members of the public to look carefully at the hat that this person is wearing. We believe it may be a Detroit baseball cap with a distinctive pattern on the top side of its peak. It appears to be a very recognisable ball cap, and we are asking anyone who recognises this person and the clothing and wearing this cap to call us either directly at 416-808-7400, that's the Homicide Squad, or anonymously at Crime Stoppers at 416-808-TIPS. This investigation is moving forward, and we are appealing to those who may know this person to call us and provide information. Questions?
Have you found any link yet to the Garden Restaurant shooting that happened there and this?
No, it was a common topic at the time, and as has been well published, Marcus was caught up in that investigation, but was cut from the investigation. So I haven't found a link to that incident.
Do you have any description of the vehicle you think you may have possessed?
I have one, but I am not prepared to release it at that time.
How much help have you gotten, if any, from the public in this situation in terms of people reaching out with tips or witnesses?
To be honest, very little. But having said that, I don't believe that the community that surrounds this residence has much to do with the suspect. So in that regard, that's probably why that Riverdale community hasn't been very vocal. But outside of that, no, I haven't got a lot of information, and that's partly today why I'd like to make this appeal. We now have somebody to look at, and clearly in the first footage that you see with the person coming down, the video actually shows him putting on gloves, and he's fully masked up. Somebody's going to know that person, somebody who lives near, in and around the community that person's from will know that person, and I'm asking those people to give us a call either directly at my desk.
You mentioned the gloves. Could you just take us through, describe a little better what it is that we're looking at?
Well, this footage is from a security camera on Munro Street, north of where Mr. Gibson lived. When the person enters the screen, you can see he's putting on gloves, his hands are up, his face is covered. The most identifiable part of this description is the baseball cap. We've looked at it 1,000 times, and when we've slowed it down frame by frame, we believe it may be a Detroit baseball cap with a very unique pattern on the top. We've had a look through the internet, and we've found a hat that does fit that, but again, it's what we think at this time. So obviously the rest of the clothing is very nondescript, and obviously on the second clip he's running away at a high speed, coming through your video now from left to right, and we believe just north of that location he got into a vehicle. It's a one-way street, so the only exit will be up at Gerrard Street, either going east or west.
Do you have any sense, obviously you don't know who the suspect is, but do you have any sense of motive, like were there gang ties, anything like that?
Well, again, I think all of you have looked into that scenario, but I don't think that's a fair thing to ask of me right now, considering We're still looking for the suspect. I don't want to speculate if there's gang ties. What I'd like is facts through evidence to speak to that. And until we get to that, I'm going to leave that out into the... we're looking into it, that's for sure, but I can't commit to that, and I won't commit to that theory.
Have you been speaking to the victim's family, giving them updates as they go, and can you just give us an update on how they're doing and how they're feeling with the fact that this killer is
They're
still out there?
devastated, as always. Despite what people have looked into Marcus's lifestyle and background, Marcus is a son, he's a brother, he's a father, and he's surrounded himself with a lot of very good friends, and the family is very good people. Of course, they're very upset, and they're struggling to look forward and find ways to deal with this. So we are keeping in touch with them, and we have a good rapport with them. They're being very helpful.
How would you characterize this murder? Based on the video, it seems to be very deliberate, what this guy was going through.
Yes, I mean, it's no secret that we've left the timestamp there, and you can see that there's two timestamps arriving at 15:20, and he's exiting at 15:56. Was he there for that entire period? We don't know. Again, that's something I'm not going to guess about. How he got entry into the residence, again, I can't commit to because I don't know exactly at this point. That's still part of the investigation, still an important part of the investigation. But the fact that this happened in Marcus's bedroom after perhaps being there for a period of time is something that obviously is high on our priority list of why.
Does that indicate to you that the suspect knows the victim?
It may indicate that. It may also indicate something else. So there are two different, possibly three different theories about how he got in, why he was in his room, and what the relationship was between him and Marcus. They're things that we're currently looking at. We're not rushing. We've got time. We've processed that scene. We've gathered evidence from that scene. Our forensic officers did a really good job considering what they were up against, and that evidence is now being analysed and processed. And again, that's something that does take time.
So you're looking at this as targeted?
Well, he was murdered in his bedroom. I believe there's only two people there, so I don't think it was mistaken identity.
From what you know about Mr. Gibson's life, does it sound like there would have been people who maybe would have had a vendetta against him or a reason to do this?
Again, I think that's a little unfair question to ask of me, to look at his background and comment on things that I'm not sure about. Marcus's chosen life and what he did in his life previous to this may come into play, but it may not. And I think it'd be unfair of me to look at that right now and tell people when I simply don't know.
What about your thoughts on the fact that this happened at 3:20, 3:30 in the afternoon?
What kind of...
Broad daylight, as opposed to...
Yeah, in the middle of the night when it usually happens. I don't know. It was a little odd to get a call at that time of the afternoon, that's for sure.
But that is, I mean, just to further Justine's point, that's somebody, obviously the killer, who had a lot of either confidence or guts, or it's a pretty brazen thing to do, to go into that kind of killing in the daytime under the cover of darkness.
I totally agree with that.
There were multiple shots fired that day. Is it believed by you guys that it was all from the same gun, all the same person?
Let's leave the minutiae of what happened inside Mr. Gibson's bedroom for a later date. That's information that, I mean, obviously there's been an autopsy and a report prepared by the pathologist. But that's something that I'm going to keep to myself at this point. I don't want to throw everything out there. But there is, as I've told you, the forensic guys and the pathologist have gathered a lot of evidence that we're looking at, and important evidence in that too.
Does Gibson live with anyone, a family or alone?
I believe he lived there with his mom.
And do you know if she was home at the time?
She wasn't home at the time.
What's your message to somebody who sees these images and thinks they may be able to identify that suspect, but who are concerned about going forward for whatever reason?
Well, best evidence for me is someone coming giving me a statement. I realize that in this day and age, that might, and in this particular circumstance, that might not be what some people want to do. But I'm looking for a direction, a name, and if people want to stay anonymous and call Crime Stoppers, that's extremely helpful as well. I mean, it gives me a focus, it gives me a direction, it gives me something to go out and further investigate and prove or disprove. So it's all information is worth its weight in gold at this time.
And the suspect could still be dangerous to other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is still a firearm out there that's been used in a murder for sure.
Do you believe there's a second person involved? Did they be driving the car, or was he driving the car?
If he got into a vehicle, I'm going to suggest that person is party to the offence of murder. I don't think there is too much of a leap to suggest that a guy who's just committed a murder gets into your car and you don't know too much about it. And my message is, if that is the case, if you were the driver of that vehicle, you will suffer the same charges and the same fate in the justice system as the killer. And my advice to you is to go and seek information or seek guidance from a lawyer and have them contact me and provide a statement which will cause me to look into that a little bit differently.
Just to clarify on the hat, it looks like a Detroit Tigers baseball hat, or?
Yeah, baseball, right? Tigers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Design on the teeth or something?
Yeah, if you, I mean, obviously the pixelization is a little bit difficult, but obviously we've looked at this, slowed it down, and from best we can gather, it's a Detroit baseball cap logo, and there is a distinctive pattern on the top of the lid, or the peak of the cap. As I said, we've looked through Google and had a couple of pictures from there that seem to fit that. I'm not going to commit 100% to that. That's why I keep saying that's what we believe at this time to be. But somebody who knows that person, knows what they're dressed in with the grey hoodie under the black top, with that particular baseball cap, I think that combination, somebody will definitely recognize that, and I'm asking those people to give us a call. Thank you very much.
Can we get your name, please?
Detective Murray, M-U-R-R-A-Y. Barnes, B-A-R-N-E-S. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the press event. Thank you very much for coming. We'll have some information and photos and video available for you later on. I'm going to put that up onto our YouTube site as well. Yeah. Yes.